in the right place and in the right time. Welcome to this movement, the Conscious Planet, Saving the Soil. Ladies and gentlemen, we as occupied as tenants of a shared planet must be the ones that are part of solutions to soil extinction and desertification. We have a generational responsibility, to tell you the truth, and that responsibility is towards leaving behind a legacy of living soil. So, because a picture is worth 1,000 words, here's presenting to you a video that explains the science behind the Save Soil campaign. Let us watch together.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects. But we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. But what we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy, in most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible. Some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years, because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere, to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
From my part, as much as I can contribute.
بالعربي أنقذ التربة لنفعل ذلك على أرض الواقع بمبادرات عملية وجادة ملموسة الأثر. أنقذ التربة save soil.
Sadhguru, and this campaign is so important.
And our planet's future depend on it.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
We commend you for what you're doing. That is why we are happy to sign the MOU.
The science and philosophy that backs the thought behind the movement is tremendous.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
Look at those numbers. You forget how to count when you look at them. Ladies and gentlemen, that was one of other introductory videos that, of course, you will be very familiar with when the time comes. And make no mistake, that time is very near and draws ever so closer. For the last time, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see me on this stage as we begin, which is very shortly. Let's make sure we are aware of the social distance. We are aware of keeping our masks on at all times, and of course, have a very beautiful, promising evening. Thank you for making it here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that our guests have arrived to the vicinity and they will be walking into this hall at any given moment. Therefore, would like to ask you, thank you very much. Would like to ask you to take your seats so those who are seated can be able to view the stage, the screens, and everything around their vicinity. Thank you very much. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which translates to, in the name of Allah, the most graceful, the most merciful. Your Excellency, Sheikh Hayyan Mbarak Al-Hayyan, Minister of Tolerance and Coexistence. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, may the peace and mercy of Allah be upon you. Humbly, my name is Yusuf Abdul Bari. It is our pleasure to be the Master of Ceremony for this promising evening, the Conscious Planet Safe Soil Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, let us now stand for a minute of silence for the loss of the late Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. May Allah rest his soul. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have prepared an exceptional mind-enriching program for you today. So, to begin this promising, enriching program, please join me in welcoming our guest of honor, His Excellency Sheikh Hayyan. Your Excellency.
My dear brother Sadhguru, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am delighted to join everyone here tonight in welcoming my dear brother Sadhguru to the United Arab Emirates. Sadhguru is a renowned global spokesman for issues related to wholesome relationships, spiritual fulfillment, and care for the environment. These issues are so essential to a productive and rewarding life. Safe soil is surely a cause that we can all fully endorse. Sadhguru, your motorcycle ride through 24 nations in support of this cause of the Conscious Planet movement thank you, is truly inspiring. We thank you for that, sir. Thank you. Your ride embodies the human spirit that encompasses creativity, ambition, understanding, and morality. All those qualities that make us human. Your ride exhorts us to carry out our responsibility as humans bound together, to do no harm, to understand and respect the views of others, to help those people less fortunate than we, and to leave our children a world better than we found it. Thank you. Dear brother Sadhguru, I would like to thank you for including the United Arab Emirates in your inspiring journey. I know that everyone here this evening will listen carefully to your ideas, your wisdom, and will seek to integrate those ideas with their own experience, knowledge, and understanding of how they can promote the values of living in peace and harmony with our planet. My dear friends, our observation of the alarming soil erosion around the world and our desire to understand what we see remind me of the UAE's most prominent environmentalist, our nation's founder, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Thank you. Thank you. He had a deep love of nature. Let me repeat his words, and I quote, "We cherish our environment because it is an integral part of our country, our history, our heritage. Honor the land and in the sea. Our forefathers lived and survived in this environment. They were able to do so only because they recognized the need to conserve it, to take from it only what they need to live, and to preserve it for succeeding generations." Thank you. With God's will, we shall continue to work to protect our environment and our wildlife, as did our forefathers before us. It is a duty. And if we fail, our children rightly will reproach us for squandering an essential part of their inheritance and of our heritage. After Sheikh Zayed's passing, our country's concern for the environment continued to intensify, so that now the United Arab Emirates, led by His Highness the President, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, has established many environmental initiatives and organizations, to include the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, which is cooperating with Asia Foundation in sponsoring this great rally. In that spirit of the love of nature, I endorse the premise of this cooperation, that we must all continue to explore ways to improve how we plan, protect, and manage and use our natural resources. I also believe there is a strong connection between our spiritual values and how we care for the environment. Our spiritual values provide the moral imperative to ensure that all people in all countries can enhance the standard of living without acting in ways that will leave their future generations living and working in a barren environment. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. The theme of safe, soil is a crucial aspect of respecting and caring for our natural world. Its urgency and importance are a consequence of the need to feed a rapidly increasing world population. Food security is a global issue. We must ensure adequate food production and distribution for all while allowing our planet to heal. To do this, we must continue with our efforts to enhance our desire and ability to protect and preserve the soil. We need to work to improve our databases and to increase the scientific knowledge necessary to make informed soil policy decisions. A coordinated effort in all countries of the world is required. Research and technological innovation must be part of the effort. An education and training system that supports this important cause must exist. An orientation program for the general public is essential. And of course, peace and stability must prevail. Wars and conflicts cause environmental disasters of unimaginable dimensions. Let me close by noting that tonight's rally is also an opportunity to celebrate the strong relations between India and the United Arab Emirates. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our two countries have enjoyed a friendly and productive relationship for a very long time. And God willing, we will continue to achieve more together over the years. Thank you. Over the years and the decades ahead. Again, my dear brother Sadhguru, welcome to the United Arab Emirates. Thank you. Your motorcycle ride looks like it might be a lot of fun. It is great when you can do good and enjoy it at the same time, sir, which you have done so. My best wishes to you in your noble endeavor, sir, and my best wishes for a successful rally here this evening. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency Sheikh Nahyan, for shedding this much of light. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to hand the floor to the Minister of Climate Change and Environment herself. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's keynote is relayed to you by Her Excellency Maryam bint Mohammed Al Mheri. Please welcome.
Wow. Your Highness, Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak, thank you so much for your inspiring words. Our dear brother Sadhguru, thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you all for being here with us. I have to just take this moment on because I think this is the biggest crowd I've ever addressed. So thank you. Thank you all for your patience. I know a lot of you have been waiting a long time to see our brother, dear Sadhguru. Thank you for being here with us tonight for this important event that really seeks to raise awareness about the importance of soil in our lives and inspire all of us to do our part for soil conservation. Last Friday, we received the devastating news about the passing of our beloved President, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, whose visionary leadership has elevated us to where we are today. As we mourn this great loss for our nation, we must continue on the path of sustainable development that Sheikh Khalifa and our founding father, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan before him, laid out for us. And we hope today's event will contribute to our collective pursuit of a brighter tomorrow. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and also to congratulate all of us on his election. On his election as the UAE President, and we wish him success in his new post as he leads our nation on our continued journey of progress, prosperity, and stability. Sadhguru, just look at this crowd. You'll see it when you come on stage. Tonight we have the honor of having you here in the UAE. It's unbelievable when we know the facts that you're on a 100-day journey spanning 30,000 kilometers and crossing 24 countries, and through your solo motorcycle trip from London to the southern tip of India. You aim to bring together people like all of you and I to stand up for soil health. Dear Sadhguru, also from myself, on behalf of our nation and all the people here, we celebrate with you and we thank you for your efforts to address the soil degradation issue and help the world develop and implement national policies and promote soil health. I would also like to thank my team at the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. And the Conscious Planet Foundation for all their hard work in organizing tonight's event, and also the Dubai World Trade Center for hosting us here this evening. Friends, I want to give you some facts. These are shocking facts. 95% of the food we consume depends on soil. 95%. But producing food is not soil's only purpose. Soil provides a habitat for a wide variety of plants, animals, and microorganisms. A fun fact, 1 teaspoon of soil can contain more organisms than there are humans walking on Earth. Soil also serves as the largest terrestrial carbon sink, which is basically a sink that absorbs CO2 from the air, in addition to a host of other ecosystem services. But our soil is under threat. Alarmingly, we are losing 1 acre a second. That's about more than half a football field per second that we're losing on a daily basis, every second. It's huge. 33% of the world's soil is already degraded. And if we continue like this, up to 90% will be degraded by 2050. And this will cost the global economy a whopping $23 trillion US. So to sustain soil's vital services, governments, NGOs, the private sector, food producers, food consumers, all of us must adopt a sustainable approach to improving soil health, preventing soil degradation, increasing carbon sequestration, reducing emissions, and keeping global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius. This is especially important for arid environments such as we have here in the UAE. The need of the hour is a quick transition to sustainable agriculture and climate-resilient farming systems. I'm proud to share that the UAE is working hard to include soil management and national strategies and policies. And also with your help, Sadhguru, we will work together to do more, because we can always do more. We're also extremely excited that the UAE will be hosting the UNFCCC COP28 next year. And we will ensure that these topics play a vital role in the conservation efforts that we have to do for the climate action. I know we're all here to hear from you, Sadhguru, so I'm going to stop here, and I just want to say again, thank you from my heart, from the team, everybody here. Thank you.
Our thanks for Her Excellency, shedding light on what the saving soil means and updating us on the current status of our present soil. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to invite our next speaker on the stage. Please welcome with me the Ambassador of India to the United Arab Emirates, His Excellency Sanjay Sudhir.
His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, Her Excellency Mariam Al Mehri, respected spiritual leader Sadhguru, and to all of you, Namaskaram. I think to look at all of you at the same time, one needs wide angles in the eyes. It's such a huge crowd, I must say. But let me begin by conveying my condolences on the passing of late President, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. We will always remember him for his kindness to the Indian community in the UAE and his earnest efforts to strengthen India-UAE relationship. I also take this opportunity to congratulate and convey my best wishes to President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The Indian government and the entire Indian community in the UAE wish him all success. We are very confident that under his stewardship, India-UAE relations will achieve new heights. The comprehensive strategic partnership agreement signed by His Highness and Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in January 2017 this historic comprehensive strategic partnership agreement provides a new edifice for our ever-strengthening relations and the way forward. Today we are honored by the gracious presence of India's spiritual guru, Sadhguru. I'm really glad that he chose the UAE as a part of his 27-country, 30,000-kilometer motorcycle expedition. And I really wonder how he seamlessly transcends the material and the spiritual worlds at the same time. A highly revered yoga guru, Sadhguru has his way of reaching people's hearts and minds with his profound wisdom, regardless of age and cultures. I always look at him as a mystic who demystifies the most complex of things and has universal appeal, as we can all see. Sadhguru has been awarded India's second highest civilian award, the Padma Vibhushan. Actually, Sadhguru is a person who's beyond awards, I must say. And as you all know, and you would have been seeing in social media, in the press, that on his visit to the UAE, he is on a very important mission, save soil. In India, we revere soil as Dharti Mata, that is Mother Earth. And ever since he landed in the UAE, we can all see his missionary zeal to save soil. From planting mangroves along with Minister Al-Mahri, to signing MOUs, to visiting research centers, he has been doing it all. I asked him in Abu Dhabi that in the 26th of the 27 countries he plans to travel, whether his mission was a mission fulfilled. And his answer was that the narrative on saving the soil has certainly changed. The awareness is certainly at a different level, though there is still a lot more to be done to save soil. But I'm very sure that every person who has listened to his thoughts will contribute to save soil and will contribute to Mother Earth, Dharti Mata, and humanity. I think together, let us make it happen. I thank you all.
Our thanks to His Excellency Sanjay Sudhir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, because a picture once more is worth 1,000 words, let us watch the next video.
I am soil, and I'm diminishing. I'm a natural wonder, providing you with food, clean air, safe water. I serve as the basis for your structures. Without me, human life would be unimaginable. Yet centuries of overuse have left me parched, starved of nutrients. 52% of me has degraded due to agriculture. And right now, 1 acre of me is lost every second. I'm suffering. And as a result, 2 billion people are suffering from nutritional deficiencies. The message is simple. You need me more than I need you. If I diminish, you die. But if I thrive, you thrive with better food, more water, cleaner air, a healthier environment, and a healthier life. Heal me to heal the planet.
Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction.
The wise UAE leadership has long realized my vital role and made my protection, but it takes a village. Act now to save me.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your long-awaited introduction that starts with a question. What is the Conscious Planet Save Soil movement? Well, it seeks to inspire a conscious approach to saving our soil and planet. Its aim is to activate the support of over 3.5 billion people and assist governments in formulating policies that will address soil health and reverse soil degradation. World leaders, influencers, artists, experts, spiritual leaders, and NGOs are among those who have pledged their support to the initiative, just like you, to every soul that is present in this hall room. With that, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce the man we've all been waiting for, global visionary, founder of the Conscious Planet Save Soil movement, ladies and gentlemen, Sadhguru. The floor is yours, sir.
What's happening? Hello? Yep. Hello?
There's a mic here just in case.
Please be seated. Kalo na janati tava jananam Kalo na janati tava samapanam Drushto maya tava mahakara Yogeshwara Kala Kala Yogeshwara Kala Kala Namaskaram and good evening to all of you. I said good evening, huh? Yeah. That's better. Well, what is this chant about? This is There are some people who don't like me. Hello? Can we do one thing? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello, is it okay? When we say life, on a personal level, you may imagine many things as to what is your life. Essentially, what you're referring to as life, can we light up the people? I can't see them. Oh, that's better. So essentially, what we are referring to as life is just a certain amount of time and a certain amount of energy. When time gets over, we're gone. Hello? In southern Indian languages, we do not refer to when somebody dies, we don't say he died. We say his time got over. That's all that happened. Our time got over. For all of us, our time will get over at some point. Right now it is ticking away. What is ticking away is not the clock. What is ticking away is your life. Those of you who are looking at me through your third eye, all the phone people, it's going straight on the YouTube, don't waste your time. You can download it straight away from the YouTube. Do not hide your face behind the phone. Let me see you, So time is rolling for all of us at the same pace. Nobody here has any control over at what pace the time should go. You can't slow it down, you can't roll it back, it's just going away. What's going away is our life, it's just going away. First of all, before I say all this, I just want to check, am I talking to mortal people or are there some immortal people? No, are you all the dying kind, I'm asking? It's very important. It's very important because only the dying kind can live. Those who cannot die cannot live. So, with regard to time, unless you have complete mastery over the fundamental making of life, you have no control over time. But how you experience time is a very relative process. Have you noticed, on a particular day, you were very happy? It happens sometimes? Only sometimes? Anyway, one day it happened, you were very happy. That day, 24 hours, poof, went off like a moment. Another day you were little in that mode, 24 hours feels like 10,000 years. Has that also happened? Oh. So time is a very relative experience. Only miserable people can have a long life. If you're very joyful, poof, it gets over before you know what happened. Yes, joyful people have a very brief life, but miserable people have a long life. At least it feels long. So never ask for a long life. What is most important is that your life is pleasant, profound and impactful. That's all there is with life. Your experience of life is pleasant, as profound as it can be, and in terms of activity, you're impactful. If this needs to happen, don't try to manage time, because I know people have written books about time management. You don't have to do anything, it just rolls. You think you have to spin the planet to make the time go? Nothing like that, it's all happening. Only thing you have to manage is how you manage your own life energies. If you live at a certain level of exuberance and intensity, then in terms of both pleasantness and profoundness, you will be at a much deeper level. In terms of impactfulness also you will be at a higher level. So if you and another person, let's say both of you live for 100 years, one person has exuberant sense of energy and some mastery over what happens within themselves, then somebody who can do something in 10 years, if you can do that in 1 year, if both of you live for 100 years, it feels like in terms of the richness of experience and impactfulness of life, it feels like you live for 1,000 years. This you can do, that you can manage your energies in such a way that it's every moment exuberant, pleasant, profound and impactful. This you can do, but you cannot manage time. If you want to live little longer, we can teach you some inner engineering. It'll help you to kick the can a little bit. Don't ever think if you do inner engineering program, you're going to live forever. No, you will still die. Hello? Is it okay? Because it is not about becoming immortal. When it's our time, we must vacate the place. Hello? This happened. In India, it's a tradition when somebody builds a house, a new house, they will always invite a yogi or a sage or a saint to come home and bless their homes. So, this is a rich family, they built a new house, so they invited a yogi. He came, they treated him not like a yogi, they treated him like a king. And everything happened. Time for the blessing came, after food is served, everything has happened. Then the husband and wife came for the blessing, and the yogi raised his hands and said, "First let your father die, then you die, and then your children must die." They said, "What? We treated you like a king, and now you're telling me my father should die, then I should die, then my children should die? What nonsense is this?" The yogi was surprised and shocked. Why? What did I say wrong? Is it not important that first your father dies, then you die, and then your children die? If you die before your father, that is not a good thing. If your children die before you, that is not at all a good thing. Natural order of things are like this. This is very important because most human beings are living here as if they're immortal. In their mind they may know that they will die one day, but intellectually they may know. As a living experience, they're not seeing that their life is just going away. If you are conscious that you are on a very limited lease of time, naturally you will organize yourself to do things that you really care for. Otherwise, you'll do all kinds of silly things that don't matter in your life because you think you have an endless amount of time. You have a limited lease of time. This is not a wish from me, I bless you with a long life, but this is the nature of life. If you don't come to simple aspects of perceiving life the way it is, then we'll do all the wrong things. Right now, why human beings are going about with their activity as they're going about is, most of the fools think that they are immortal, they're here forever. Most homes have turned into warehouses because they think they're going to be here forever. I must tell you this, I was in United States and I went to somebody's home for lunch and I'm a little bit of an architecture freak, I just notice everything the way it is, and generally I know how American homes are built. Based on this, I wanted to use the restroom, so normally I know how homes are laid out. So I went and opened this door. But I had made a mistake, it was not a restroom, it was a large room, maybe twice the size of this stage. And the whole room was full of footwear. Over 800 pairs of footwear. And all of them were ladies' footwear. Then I was just looking at this, what's happening here? Is it like, are they dealing in footwear, are they something like this? But by then the lady of the house came in, Sadhguru, what do you want? I said, what is all this footwear? I knew they are successful doctors, both husband and wife. They are not footwear merchants. Then he said, no, Sadhguru, what do you want? I said, see, I was just looking for the restroom and I just happened to step into this, but what about this footwear? No, Sadhguru, let's go. And then I said, oh, these are all your footwear? 800 plus pairs. How many lifetimes are you planning to come back and walk? Because obviously you cannot use this footwear in one lifetime, there are too many. So then this was working on me, I was just wondering, why would anybody… See, I'm okay, you buy one for your office, one for walking, one for golf, one for running, one for evening, and because you're a woman, you want the 7 colors, all right. No, 7 into 3, 21, all right. I'm considerate, but 800, how do you even choose? Then it was bothering me. Then I met a CEO of a major footwear manufacturing company in United States. I asked him, why would a woman buy 800 pairs of shoes? He said, Sadhguru, that is because that's the only thing she can buy all her life same size. I said, okay, that makes sense. So, I think that is the thing, it's okay. So, what are we doing here? Why have we become the way we have become? See, I want you to understand, right now this destruction that we're talking about has not happened because there is some evil force sitting somewhere wanting to destroy this planet. There is no such thing. It's just human beings in pursuit of their happiness and well-being that we have done this. Every one of us, knowingly or unknowingly, involved in this destruction. We are all partners in this destruction. The only way around is we all become partners in the solution. There is simply no other way. But why are human beings in pursuit of happiness so vigorously and still they're not happy? All the time, everybody is going through they call it stress, anxiety, misery, depression, this one, that one, all kinds of things. Everybody today, these days, they're claiming they have a right to be like that. Well, yes, of course you have a right to be miserable, but is that your choice really? If you are given a choice for yourself, I'm asking you, you must choose right now. If you don't say anything, I'm going to bless you. If you have a choice right now of being blissful or miserable, what is your choice for yourself right now? Blissful. What you want for your neighbor sometimes may be debatable. But what you want for yourself is crystal clear, isn't it? Highest level of pleasantness is what you want for this one. What does pleasantness mean? Pleasantness means if your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. You want it? I heard only 122 people. If body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. To create or to make your surroundings pleasant, you may need the cooperation of many people and forces in the world, because surroundings will not become pleasant just like that. You need certain skills and capabilities and other people should cooperate. The times in which you are should cooperate, only then you can create the surroundings the way you want it. But to make your body pleasant, mind pleasant, emotions pleasant, energies pleasant is 100% your business. Hello? So if you were really, really joyful, would you be in compulsive activity of wanting to do something crazy in the world? Hello? Really? Right now, in pursuit of happiness, endless amount of activity human beings are doing, whether it is needed or not needed. This is the whole problem right now. Everybody is on a mission, whether it's needed or not needed. Some people are in religious mission, some people are in shopping mission, some people all kinds of missions, whether it is needed or not, you need to do it. This happened. You okay if I tell you a joke? You're getting serious. Don't be so serious, come on, hello? This is the biggest problem in the world. A whole lot of people are dead serious about themselves. Who I am, they're dead serious about that. See, this is a wrong order of things. First you must be serious and then you must be dead. Dead serious is a wrong order of things. And this is a serious problem. It's like this. See, in this cosmos, nobody knows where it begins, where it ends. Such a tremendous space. Nobody has figured out where it begins, where it ends. Neither the religious people nor the scientists have figured out where it begins, where it ends. In this limitless cosmos, solar system is a tiny speck. In that tiny speck, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, Dubai is a super microspeck. In that, you are a big man. This is a very serious problem. This is a serious loss of perspective as to who you are. You are like a pop-up on this planet. You popped up and you'll pop out. Yes, in the life of the planet, you are appearing for a couple of seconds and disappearing. And you are a micro speck of dust in this universe. But you think so much about yourself. This is the main problem. And in that, this super micro specks happiness, in pursuit of that happiness, we are ripping the planet apart with compulsive activity. Now, this is happening because of fundamental loss of direction in the sense. See, there was a potato farmer. You heard of him already? No. There was a potato farmer. One day he wanted to eat apples. He went to the right tree, he went to the apple tree. But out of sheer habit, he started digging for apples in the ground. When he did not find any apples there, he became furious and dug furiously. After some time, the tree came down upon him. This is the story of humanity right now. I'm asking you, whether you are happy or unhappy in a given moment, did it happen within you or did it happen outside of you? Hello? Within you. Pain and pleasure happens within you. Joy and misery happens within you. Agony and ecstasy happens within you. Just about anything that you can ever experience happens only within you. Right now, those of you who are at the back, can you see me? Even if you're not listening, can you see me? So use your hands and point out where I am. No, you're getting it wrong. You know, I am a mystic from southern India. Now this light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina. You've heard the whole story? So where do you see me right now? Within yourself. Where do you hear me right now? Within yourself. Where have you seen the whole world? Within yourself. Everything, anything and everything that ever happened to you happened only within you. But now, you're in pursuit of happiness in the world, digging up the planet inside out. People were telling me that, because Living Earth statistics says, if we want to provide what an average American citizen has to the 8 billion people on the planet, we need 4.5 planets. But right now we have only half a planet. So somebody was telling me, it seems some 300 million years away from here, 300 million light years away from here, there are over 300 plus planets exactly like this, much larger, with all this atmosphere and everything. They want to go there in 300 million light years. I said, see, if you find 8 billion planets and give one to each one of them, as long as they're in pursuit of happiness, they will destroy these 8 billion planets in 100 years' time. If you want apples, you must look up. If you want potatoes, you must look down. Yes or no? If you want comfort, you must look out. If you want joy, you must look in. Yes or no? This simple thing human beings did not get. They think they are going to squeeze happiness out of the world. Well, the planet is getting squeezed for sure, happiness is not happening. As a generation of people, every one of you, you know more comforts and convenience than any generation ever knew in the history of humanity. Yes or no? What royalty could not afford 100 years ago, today average citizens have. Most of you are driving chariots with 200, 400 horses. Hello? And especially women, I'm reminding you, because you're the shoppers, I'm telling you. Never before in the history of humanity was it this good for the female of the species, never before. So I'm saying, let's not mess it up. Let's not mess it up, because every responsible scientist is pointing that by 2045 we'll be producing 40% less food. We are once again driving towards famines. Famine is not a fancy thing. Wars are terrible, but at least in a war somebody shoots you dead, which is a great relief compared to a famine. A famine means it's a slow fade. You will die in 3 to 4 months, slowly, losing everything that you call as humanity within you as it progresses. Just 70, 80 years ago, there were famines almost everywhere in the world. In 1942, a famine in India took 3.2 million people in 4 months. In 4 months, slowly starving to death. This is the most painful way for a human being to die. But once again, with this level of organization, with this much knowledge, with this level of technology, with this level of knowledge dissemination happening, we are once again driving towards a famine. World Food Program, UN World Food Program is talking about at least half a dozen nations going into famine conditions this year. Last year they spent $9 billion distributing food. This year they want $15 billion. 2023, they want $22 billion to distribute food. How long will we run the world like this, that we will take aid and distribute it to people and out of that we will keep them alive? You have seen those scenes in televisions, if not in real, men and women and children grabbing for food from the trucks. Is that the way we want to live? Is that the way we want our children to live? It is intrinsic. This is not a philosophy, this is not an ideology, this is not a religion. It is intrinsic in every human being. You want your children to live better than you, yes or no? But right now, we are taking away the foundations, the possible good life for next generations. Because if there is no rich soil, there shall be no food, there shall be no enough water, not even clean air to breathe, because all these are connected to soil. If you allow me the time, I can explain the science to you, otherwise we can make it available in some other way. But you must understand, soil is the basis of all this, and that nearly 52% of the soil is seriously degraded in the world. And this minimum 3% organic content that we are talking about, it is the minimum to call soil as soil. You've already gone through the video, I don't want to repeat facts, but anyway, just to tell you, the simple thing is this. If you add organic content to soil, if you add organic content to sand, it becomes soil. If you take away all the organic content from the soil, it becomes sand. Right now, that is what UAE is doing, adding organic content to the sand and making it into soil. It is a commendable direction that it has taken. Our Minister, Madam, is super passionate about this and she's taking this ahead. It is still that scale is not enough, because turning a desert into agricultural land is an enormous effort and an enormous expense. Both in terms of effort and expense, it is too much. But whole world is busy converting fertile soils into deserts. This is what we are doing in the rest of the world right now, because not a single nation, not even a single nation in the world has minimum 3% organic content in its soil, not a single nation. The highest organic content average that you find in the world is in Northern Europe, which is 1.48, which is less than half of what is minimum. Southern Europe has 1.1 to 1.2%. United States has 1.25 to 1.3%. India has 0.68%. Africa as a continent has 0.3%, which is disastrous. So this is where we are. This will lead to many things. One important thing is, it is estimated by 2032, 3.5 billion people will be water-stressed. That means their daily drinking water will be a challenge for 3.5 billion people. Once this begins to manifest, over 1 to 1.2 billion people will be forced to migrate. When people migrate in unplanned ways, this forced migration, if they die in thousands, that gets reported in the world. But their suffering, nobody reports because nobody can ever articulate what they go through. And when forced migrations happen, the worst is taken by the women and children, always. The worst sort of exploitations happen to them because they end up in terrains that they're unfamiliar with, they don't know the language, they don't have the skills to survive in a given society. The worst possible things happen to them. Already it is happening. Last year, 80 million people have migrated, forced migrations. This year it is expected to be over 100 million. But by 2032 to 2035, it is expected to be 1 to 1.2 billion people. When 1 billion people move in a forced manner, the tragedy is unspeakable. But that's where we are driving ourselves. The main reason is they are not able to grow food where they are. That is the main reason. If there were fertile soils, I'm asking you, however poor you were, whichever remote part of the world you were, even if you cannot do great commercial agriculture, if you could grow food for yourself and your family, would you leave that place and go away to some place not knowing where you're going? I'm asking you. In the last 25 years, over 500,000 farmers in the world have committed suicide. The highest suicide rate in almost all nations for any given profession is farming. In United States, 50% of the farmers have not seen $1 of profit for 12 years straight. There have been incidences of whole families shooting themselves. In India, of course, you know the figures, it's pretty bad. All this is because soil has become non-productive. To work in a soil which is degraded is not only back-breaking, it's heart-breaking. If soil is rich, nobody will want to commit suicide. People ask me, Sadhguru, are you not against the pesticides? Why are you not against the weedicides, herbicides? I say, I'm against suicide. No human being should be forced to commit suicide, for economic reasons especially. Hello? Especially for lack of nourishment, that they have to commit suicide. That should never happen. But unfortunately, it's happening in an unprecedented scale right now. How long can we just close our eyes and think everything is okay? I'm not trying to paint a doomsday picture for you. I'm saying this to you because we are in a cusp of time right now. As a generation of people, we are in a cusp of time where we could be that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster. Or we could be that generation which slept through and went and fell into the disaster, and of course we will grieve after it's over. I'm saying this because we've been doing this at various levels. As human beings, we've been doing this. In the last 1 century, just look at this. World War I happened, then we made League of Nations and we said we're never again going to fight a war. Well, within 30 years' time, World War II happened. Then we made United Nations and all this stuff and said, we're never going to fight, we are civilized people, all our disputes we can settle by negotiations and debates. How many wars have we fought since World War II? There has not been a single year where there is no war somewhere on the planet. And now, we are talking about number 3, as if it's a natural progression. Oh, we had 1, we had 2, we must have 3. Are we crazy? Hello? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us is just this: we will sleep through situations. When a disaster happens, then we will grieve over it. But this is a type of disaster that if we walk into this, I want you to understand, UN agencies are talking about soil extinction. Extinction means you generally talk about dinosaurs and dodos. We are talking about soil extinction. What is this soil extinction? How can it die? The simple thing is just this. In the first 15 to 18 inches of topsoil, which is the cream of this planet, it has taken millions of years to create this 15 to 18 inches of topsoil. This is the basis of who you are. This is the foundation of your life. The organisms which are here in zillions of numbers and millions of species, this is the foundation. This is the mother of your mothers. But that is what is dying. Why are they dying? Somewhere in 1918, a German scientist came up with nitrogenous fertilizers. Now, we took this powder and threw it on our fields. Suddenly everything burst out like we had never seen before. In India, there are instances where our productivity or our yield of the crop went up 300%. So we thought this is magic powder, and it is magic. But you know, magic gets over. Hello? You've been to many magic shows, I'm sure, but magic always gets over, it doesn't last. So magic lasts for some time. And in this magic, what we did was, because our productivity went up and we wanted more and more, we removed all plant life because we wanted to plow every inch of the soil. We removed all animal life because machines came to do the work, which was so much easier to work with machines than with animals. So plant life went out, animal life went out. But we need to understand this. There are only 2 sources of organic content. This is one thing that must sink into you, because young people, you all think there is some technology, because somebody was telling me, Sadhguru, we can 3D print an apple and eat it. You can do it, of course, but where does the material for that come from? That comes from the soil. It cannot come from anywhere else. So, this organic content can come from only these 2 sources, plant life and animal life. Just look at anything that you call as agricultural field today. Is there a tree, is there a plant, or is there an animal on it? No, it's empty land, machines at the most. The problem with the machines is they don't shit. Yes, I want you to understand this. This is the nature of life. One animal or one creature consumes something, its waste is food for something else, or its body is food for something else. This is the cycle of life. You cannot break this chain. What you call as my life is one link in the carbon cycle that's going on this planet. And in this, the most important link is the soil, and that has worn down thin, so thin that it could make the whole life cycle collapse in a major way. So, this is not a doomsday thing, this is not a protest, this is not an agitation, this is not an angst against somebody, this is not out of resentment. This is an expression of our love and responsibility for our own lives, for the lives that are around, and for the lives that should be beyond us. Should there be life beyond you and me? That's not… Should there be life beyond you and me? If there has to be life, there has to be living soil. As Madam was saying, one handful of soil has 8 to 10 billion organisms in it, over 50 to 75 species in it, one handful. But today, on an average, according to UNFAO, on an average 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct per year. At this rate, somewhere between 25 to 40 years from now, it will start collapsing in a way that we can't fix it. Right now, if we make up our minds, it's fortunate that UAE is making this policy right away, because we have presented this policy-making handbook, 193 policy handbooks we made, unique ones for each nation, for 193 nations. For 193 nations, taking into consideration its latitudinal position, soil type, economic conditions and agricultural traditions of the given nation, we made these unique documents. It is in consultation with significant scientists in the world. So these handbooks have been distributed to all over the world. We have also written to 730 political parties on the planet, because we want every political party in the world to make soil an important part of their manifesto. But if all this needs to happen, people should give their mandate. Till now, people are only asking for trinkets and they're getting that. Tell me in which nation has 60% of the population stood up and asked for long-term well-being of their nation? In which nation 60% of the population has stood up and asked for what about the future of our children? No, they're asking for, give us 1.5% of tax discount and they'll get it. We're asking for petty things and it is happening. It is time, as a generation, we stand up and ask for long-term well-being of humanity, of life, of future generations. This has not happened. This is what Save Soil movement is about, to move 3.5 to 4 billion people, because 5.26 billion people on the planet have franchise in their hands. It's important at least 60% expresses their concern for soil and the well-being of our own future and future generations. This must happen right now. Since 21st of March, some of the metrics that we have are showing us a little over 2 billion people have spoken about soil. But this is not good enough, we want 4. See, I'm wary of all these clapping hands because last 30 years I've been talking about soil. Whenever I speak about it, the people tell me, Sadhguru, this is wonderful, what… fantastic work you're doing, this, and they go to sleep. This time if we go to sleep, we'll pay a price that we will regret. Is sleep a crime? Hello? Is sleeping a crime? No. But if you sleep through your life will become a disaster. Disasters are worse than crime. This is where we are as a generation. If we wake up and act, oh, shall I roll up my sleeves and go and fix my kitchen garden? That's very cute of you, but that's not a solution. Me fixing my land, you fixing your land, that time is gone by. We should have done that in 60s and 70s. Now a time has come, unless there is a policy instituted and enshrined in every government on the planet, there is no solution, because 71% of the earth's land is farmed. 4.2% is paved because they are urban lands. 71% is plowed, 4.2% is paved. Together 76% of the land is in this condition where human beings are living on this one way or the other, human beings are tending to it and they kept it in the most horrible way. It's fashionable for everybody to talk about, let's fix the rainforest. Obviously, they don't know what's a rainforest, they've never seen one, except in the movies maybe. You don't have to fix the rainforest, just stay out of it, everything is fine. But there are products, forest produce is there which we want. So if you want forest produce, major things are timber, honey, various resins and various things, all this can be grown on farmland. This is the transformation we're bringing about in southern India, what is called as tree-based agriculture, where farmers are beginning to earn 300 to 800% more than what they were earning about 7 to 8 years ago. This is important. It is very important that farmers should earn as much as an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, otherwise everybody will pile up into cities. Right now, 72% of the world's investment is just in 31 cities on the planet. How do you expect anybody to live on the land? Everybody will be moving there. It's expected in India, 220 million people will move towards urban centers in the next 10 years' time. You know Indian cities, which city is capable of absorbing that kind of population? 62 to 63% of India's population is right now farming community. We have done some surveys and we find not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. In another 25 years, how are we going to feed these populations? This is not just an Indian phenomena, this is a global phenomena, because being on the farm is both back-breaking and heart-breaking and not remunerative. We have to make farming into a lucrative process. So this policy, I will not go into the details, financial details of it, this policy is an incentive-based policy, what we are asking for. One important thing that all of you should push for is, we must separate soil from other problems that we have. Environmental problems, global warming problems, yes, there are many problems. I'm not saying they are not significant, they are all significant issues, but you must separate soil from that, only then we can fix it. Otherwise, we will have more conventions and more conferences and more theses going on. This has been going on for a long time. If we don't act now, it'll be late. In another 20 years, it'll be very late. This is the time to act. Why I am asking for this is, I have looked at the European Common Agricultural Policy. It's very well-intentioned, very comprehensive, covering all aspects of the problem, but it's not implementable because implementation has to happen by the farmer. It is not going to happen because of a scientist or an academic. It has to be done by the farmer. So it is very, very important that implementation point is one-pointed and simple, that everybody can implement. So only thing we are asking for is to make a law that if you own farmland, you must have minimum 3% organic content. Without 3% organic content, your soil shall not be alive for today and for tomorrow's use. 3% is not the best thing, 3% is the minimum. But not a single nation has even 3% as an average, that is where we are right now. So one aspect is incentive to drive the farmers in that direction. Second aspect is farmers should become accessible to carbon credit. Our farmers have done a fantastic job of sequestering carbon in probably in millions of tons, but last 7 to 8 years, our teams have been working on cracking this carbon credit market, and we have not made an inch of progress because the damn thing is so complex. I don't know for whom it is made. You just can't crack it. So I'm requesting the government, make this thing simple. If somebody gets their field to 3% organic content, there must be a thumb rule. This much sequestering will naturally happen and give the incentive to the farmer. So that's the second level of incentive. The third level of incentive is, now if you are producing an apple from 1% organic content, what micronutrients it has, we know. There is science to it. If the same apple is produced from 3% organic content field, what is the level of micronutrients present in that? That also we know. If that much micronutrients are extra present in that apple, what health benefits you have, what preventive health benefits you have, how many man-days will be saved in a nation's life. And healthier people means less load on the healthcare. Healthier people means possibly they could be happy also, more productive and more creative. There are immense benefits. So, once again, the farmer should get the benefit that it will sit on a different shelf in the marketplace. For this 3% organic content field apple, you may have to pay 5 or 10% more than the regular one, but instead of eating 3 apples, you can eat 1 because it has that much nutrient level. If it comes from a 6% organic content field, then it'll sit on a higher shelf in the marketplace because it has higher level of nutrients, much more benefits. You may have to pay a little extra for that, but instead of eating 6 apples, you eat 1 apple. That is the level of nourishment it gives you. So this needs to happen to enhance our nourishment capability and above all, to leave the soil as a living entity for future generations. The shocking thing for me in the last 2 years has been, nearly 85% of the nations on the planet still address soil as an inert substance that they can fix by putting one chemical or removing chemical from it. This is the largest living system in the universe. There isn't any other place like this 18 inches of topsoil that we have on this planet, anywhere in the universe. There is no such place. If you sow death, it sprouts life. This is the only magical place like that. We've just forgotten this, that we all have come out of this. Who we are right now is a consequence of the life within the soil. But we are busy trying to do so many things. We are trying to help people who are not willing to be helped. When I say they are not willing to be helped, because there is no understanding of what it is. Another thing is maybe there is no need. There are so many things we are doing in the world, but if people have to live well, nutritious food, clean water, pure air, these 3 things if you maintain, how each individual lives, it's their problem. Hello? Somebody will live well, somebody will live miserably, that's their issue. That is something we can try to teach them, but that is their issue. But if you take away nutritious food, clean water and pure air to breathe, then we have taken away the foundations of good life. That is what we are doing right now. That is what we are driving future generations to be. And unfortunately, the future generation also calls themselves Generation Z. It scares me, it's the last alphabet. Please rename yourself with something, XYZ, but don't just say Z, it scares me, because that sounds like the last generation. No, life should thrive well beyond us. If this needs to happen, keeping this as a living earth is very important. It cannot be reduced to dead soil. Now, in terms of… oh, you're getting serious now. See, shall I tell you my problems? Hello? This is my problem. This problem started 40 years ago. One day, are there people from Mysore city? Oh, huttidre huttabeku Kannada nadinalli. Okay, Nammuru, Mysuru, we know. So, in Mysore city there is a small hill, it's called Chamundi Hill. So when… at least in those days, when we were young, When I was 8–10 years of age, I trekked in this little hill. It was a Himalaya for me because I was 8 years of age. We camped there. As we grew up, we cycled up Chamundi Hill. When we want to test our muscles, we cycle up Chamundi Hill. Later on, when we want to test our motorcycles, we ride up Chamundi Hill. Ooh. Okay. And just anything, if you fall in love, you go up Chamundi Hill, if you fall out, you must go up Chamundi Hill. If you have nothing to do, you go up Chamundi Hill. So one afternoon, when I'm intensely involved in my business activity, I suddenly found an hour and a half vacant space, which was a very rare thing for me. Without even thinking, not even thinking that I want to go there, I just wandered up Chamundi Hill on my motorcycle. And I know the hill so well, I park and just climb a little bit and sit on a rock. Till that moment, I thought, this is me. You also think like that? This is me, this is somebody else. I have no issue with that somebody, but this is me and that's somebody else. Suddenly I did not know which is me and which is not me. What was me was just all over the place. Well, I thought this kind of madness lasted for 10–15 minutes, but when I came back to my normal senses, about 4.5 hours had passed. My eyes were still open. For the first time in my adult life, tears were flowing down to a point my shirt is all wet. And every cell in my body is dripping ecstasy, I'm totally blissed out. I'm a super skeptic. So I shake my head and think, what is happening to me? Have I gone off my rocker? And then I ask my closest friends, something is happening to me, I'm just blissed out, uncontrollable bliss happening. I said, come on, what did you drink? Come on, what did you take? Did you find the mushrooms that we've been looking for all our life in Chamundi Hill? I knew there's no point talking to anybody because there was no context around me. But I knew this much, I have hit a gold mine and I don't want to lose it because if I just sit here, I just explode. Then I experimented this for a few weeks and I realized, if I just keep my hands off my mind, every cell in my body bursts into ecstatic states. My whole body chemistry changes in a phenomenal way. Then as I did more things with it, I knew this is all it is. If I just keep a little distance from my psychological process, I will burst forth. Then I thought, this is it, I've discovered this. On that day, the world's population was 5.6 billion people. I sat down and made a plan. In 2.5 years' time, I will make the whole world blissful. It's 40 years now. 7 days of the week, 365 days, nearly 18–20 hours a day, I've been working non-stop. Today people say we have touched a little over 4.3 or 2.3 or 2.4 billion people, but that's not my… don't clap at my failures, come on now. I'm telling you my problem, don't clap and enjoy my problem. My problem is I will anyway die as a failure. As a blissful failure, but as a failure because populations have become 8 billion, I know many people are committed to their miseries. You can't help them. This happened. One day Shankaran Pillai. But he came to UAE also. Oh, this may be something that you do not know, but Shankaran Pillai had some children, you know that? He had children. One day he called his 3 boys and said, you good-for-nothings, go and do something good. Am I getting the accent right? Do something good. So, the boys had no idea what is good. They asked, Father, what is good? How do we do good? Then he said, go help somebody. How do you help anybody? They asked. What do we do? Suppose you see an old woman on the street, help her to cross the street, at least do that much good. So the boys went out, full-spirited. Then after a few hours in the evening, they came back and Shankaran Pillai asked, "Did you do something good?" They said, "Definitely." So he asked the first boy, "What did you do?" He said, "I helped an old woman cross the street." "That's wonderful, my son. What did you do?" He asked the second son. "I also helped the old woman to cross the street." "Is that so?" He asked the third guy, "What did you do?" He said, "I also helped an old woman to cross the street." "What? All three of you helped an old woman to cross the street? There were three old women?" "No, no, father, even we could not do it. We invited our cousin Ramu also to come. Four of us together helped one old woman to cross the street." He said, "You good-for-nothings, are you not ashamed? Does it take four people to help one old woman to cross the street?" "Oh, father, you don't know how stubborn these old women are, she didn't want to cross." So I also realized, so many people are committed to their misery, it doesn't matter, even if you offer the most fantastic thing, they will go on with their own miseries. So now with Save Soil, I have reduced my percentage from 100% population to 50%. 4 billion is all I'm asking you. And 50% we have already covered nearly 2 billion people. I'm just asking all of you, can you get me the remaining 2 billion? Is this just a clapping hand or is it a working hand? Will you make it happen? Yes. So how do I make it happen? What do I do? Don't try to make that old woman cross the street only if she wants to. Now, all of you have phones? You have phone? What kind? Dumb one or smart one? Huh? Smartphone. See, you call somebody smart only if they're smarter than you, isn't it? That's good. Now that you have a smart companion in your pocket, it is very difficult to get a smart friend, somebody who's smarter than you, it's hard. But now you have a smart friend in your pocket, you must do something smart. No, but you like to send some silly messages, it's okay with me. Little bit of silly messages you can send, but you must use it in a smart way because what you have in your hand is a powerhouse. Just you, I'm saying just you as an individual person, if you're really committed, in the next 3 months you can reach the whole world. This is the kind of power that you hold in your hands. Yes? This is the first time. This is the first time in the history of humanity that we human beings have this power. We can sit at home and reach the entire world. Many great beings have come in this world, but when they spoke, even 10 people could not hear. Yes? Now you are made like this, you have technologies and platforms that if you are willing, you can reach the whole world. Here 10,000 people of Dubai and UAE, 10,000 of you, if you make up your mind, can you not get me those 2 billion people? Sadhguru, we will support your Save Soil mission. No, no, did I say I own this planet? It is your Save Soil mission, not mine. Hello? The moment I say it is yours, lot of people are becoming, okay, we thought you were going to do it. Hello? See, you need to understand this, the burden of this life. The burden of this life is not in what we do. The burden of this life is in just your inability to manage your own thought and emotion. Your own thought, your own emotion doesn't work the way you want it. It is like, suppose, don't experiment right now, okay, this is only for demonstration, that your right hand starts punching you in the face, boom, boom, boom. Then in case somebody next to you cares for you, they will hold this hand, don't do it, don't do it. But if you have your enemy sitting next to you, he's very happy. What he wanted to do, you're doing it yourself. It's great. So somebody cares for you means they'll hold you. If it doesn't work, they will tie you to the chair. If it doesn't work, they will take you to a doctor. If nothing works, they may remove the arm. Yes, otherwise you'll kill yourself. Right now, this is the problem with you. Your own thoughts and emotion poking you all over the place. I'll ask you a simple question, you must say yes or no because I'm going to bless you. Do you want your intelligence to be sharp or blunt? Some of you didn't say anything. So once we give you something that is sharp, it's very important that you're conscious about the sharpness and your hand is steady. If you are intestines will come out. Why we will not give a very sharp knife to a child's hand is not because knife is dangerous, simply because a child is not conscious enough, not steady enough, they may harm themselves or they may harm somebody else. Yes or no? Now you are a child like this, we gave you a sharp intelligence, now you're busy poking yourself all the time. You always think it's somebody else, but try this, you be alone for 3 days by yourself. Don't communicate with anybody, just see how much torture you'll do to yourself. So when you're alone, if you're miserable, you're obviously in bad company, isn't it? Hello? If somebody else is bad company, you can go somewhere else. If this is bad company, where the hell do you go? Right now, this is the problem. This is the problem right now, that you yourself are an issue, so you cannot attend to any other issue. But this much you must do. There are 1,000 issues in the world. Everybody around you could be an issue, but you should not be an issue in your own life, isn't it? Right now, this is the problem. We have still not learned even how to use and thought and emotion for our well-being. It is torturing us all the time. This is because you know about evolution? Hello? You know there is something called as a chimpanzee. The difference between you and a chimpanzee in terms of DNA, according to modern genetic scientists, is, in terms of DNA, you are only 1.23% away from a chimpanzee. 1.23% is not much of a difference, isn't it? Hello? It's not much of a difference. So physiologically, that's how close you are to a chimpanzee. But in terms of your intelligence and your awareness, you're worlds apart from a chimpanzee. Now this is your problem. You have an intelligence for which you don't have a stable enough platform. So your own intelligence tortures you. Your own intelligence destroys everything that matters to you. Your own happiness is destroyed only by your intelligence, isn't it? People are not even able to sit peacefully, to a point where all sorts of people, including spiritual teachers in the world, are going about saying peace is the ultimate goal of life. Such people will only rest in peace. I'm asking you, if you want to enjoy your dinner tonight, at least you must be peaceful, if not ecstatic, yes or no? If you want to enjoy the company of whoever is sitting next to you, even if you're not dripping with love, at least you must be peaceful, yes or no? So, I'm asking you, is peace a fundamental requirement in your life, or is it the last thing that you do in your life? It is the most fundamental requirement, at least to be peaceful, if not anything else. But even such a simple thing is not happening because we have not taken charge of our own faculties, our own thought and emotion not taking instructions from you. This happened one day. A lady went to sleep. In her sleep, she had a dream. In her dream, she saw a hunk of a man standing there and staring at her. Then he started coming closer and closer and closer. He came so close, she could even feel his breath. She trembled, not in fear. And then she asked, "What will you do to me?" The man said, "Well, lady, it's your dream." What is happening in your head is your dream. Right now, the problem is not that life is not happening the way you want it, even your dream is not happening the way you want it. This is a serious problem. It's very important that you take charge of this, because only then you can genuinely attend to real issues in the world. If you yourself are an issue, just managing your own physiological and psychological process is taking a whole lifetime. Hello? That's not how it should be. You need to figure this out. There are ways to do it, it's very simple. But above all, for all this, we must at least have nourishment. For nourishment, there must be soil. So right now, this is the mission. Will you make sure these 10,000 people who are here, if you spend 15 to 20 minutes a day, you can see that within the next… See, because you are wonderful people of UAE, I'm giving you a 60% discount. Ladies, 60% discount. Because when I started in London, I told everybody, you must do this for 100 days. Now I'm telling you, only 40 days. Hello, 60% discount, you can't say no to me. Isn't there some other way to do it, Sadhguru? Can't we do this, can't we do that? Let me tell you, this happened in 2060. When? 2060. Hey, when I want to tell you a story, you must have right It happened, this is not once upon a time story, this has happened in 2060. Hello? This happened in 2060. A few scientists in the world sought an appointment with God and they got it. You can't do the same thing for everything. And they got this appointment and went there to meet him. Then they said, "Hey, old man, you've done really well with creation, but today everything that you can do, we can also do. Time you retire." God said, "Oh, is that so? What is it that you can do?" They said, "Look at this." They dug up a little bit of soil, made a vague image of a human child, they did all kinds of things. Within a few minutes, the child came alive. God said, "Oh, this is very impressive, but first get your own soil." There is no substitute for soil. Save soil, let's make it happen. Thank you. I want to hear this. When I say 1, 2, 3, you say, "Save soil, let's make it happen." 1, 2, 3. Save soil. Let's make it happen. Great. So this should not be one day of slogan shouting. This must be your commitment, at least for 40 days. Make this happen. Right now, I must tell you this is the 61st day of the ride. We have covered… This is the 25th nation. One second. Oh. This is the 25th nation, and among all the other nations which have expressed their intent of being part of Safe Soil by signing MOUs and making declarations. This is the 74th nation with which we have signed this. Many other nations are in the pipeline. If you raise this for the next 40 days, if you make the world talk about soil, they don't have to talk about me, they don't have to talk about this, they must talk about soil. If 4 billion people express their concern for soil and the future of this world, no government can ignore it. Governments are elected not to do something fantastic. Governments are elected to fulfill people's mandate. Where is the mandate? It's in your hands to get that mandate. Let's make it happen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I thought I will walk through you if you don't mob me, especially the Indian people, if you don't pull my legs. Is it safe for me to walk through you? So please be seated. I just want to be close to you, I'll come through that, but please. Thank you very much, everybody. Our gratitude to Sheikh Nayan, who was here, the Minister of Tolerance, and above all, our Environment Minister, most spirited and passionate about this cause. Without her, many things wouldn't have happened in UAE, whatever has happened. The moment she grasped the idea, she's been non-stop on the mission. Thank you very much. My gratitude to all of them. And our deepest condolences, most profound condolences to the leader that we have just lost, and also congratulations to the new leader. And I must say this, there is no one more country in the world where in a matter of 50 years, from a remote desert habitation to the hub of the world, this has happened. This has happened because of the visionary leadership, and I'm sure this visionary leadership will also make UAE into an eco-hub for this region. That's what we are looking at. Thank you very much.
Our thanks to Sadhguru, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Oh, this doesn't look like I can walk through this. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to have your attention, please. There is something that each and every one of you is going to get their hands on, and only the people present in this hall. However, we need to fulfill a certain condition. Now, you're going to see a QR code appear here on the screen. This QR code is the 20th of May marks the 61st day of Sadhguru's iconic 100-day journey across the world to expedite the awareness of and the restoration of soil health. 61 days, braving relentless storms and rain and snow and mountainous terrain and sandstorms. Now, starting from London, crisscrossing through Europe, Middle East, and now he made it here to Dubai. In order to see this whole journey, we'd like you to scan this QR code on the screen, and you'll have this whole journey illustrated into your phone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with his arrival here, as easy as it was, let us ensure it's an easy go out, and after that, we have to clear this place for the upcoming event. They deserve the same fairness. Sadhguru, we thank you very much, and all the light to bless your way.